Hey, welcome back to the Northwoods Church Matters podcast. I'm your host, Matt Higgins, the worship pastor here at Northwoods Church. And we've been doing a series on stories of different people in the church. And tonight we're continuing. We're interviewing one of our new elders in training, Brad Benefield. Going to spend some time just getting to know him and some cool facts about him. Brad, where did you grow up?
So I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, but when I was 3, we moved to a little town, Mansfield, Texas.
You're kidding me.
No.
I lived in Mansfield, Texas.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Well,
So, yeah, just a little bit out of Arlington, Dallas-Fort Worth area.
yeah. When we went to Southwestern Seminary, that's where we lived.
Oh, wow. So you go over the train bridge and then into downtown?
Yeah, and my wife worked in the school district there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I went to Irma Nash
Okay.
Elementary.
I'll have to ask if she knows that. Very interesting. We're making connections already here that I had no idea. This is like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon or something like that. Okay. Cool. But you're born in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yep.
What's your football team allegiance to then?
I've never established one. I was a big Miami Dolphins fan for a long time.
Did you ever live in Miami?
I lived in Boca Raton.
Okay. Never in Miami, but close enough.
Yeah.
What do you remember from your childhood?
We moved to Texas, and I remember 3, 4, 5 years old riding bikes against the wind. That area, you know how the wind blows in that area. We'd get on our bikes and the wind would blow us to the end of the road, and then you'd have to tack your way back to, to fight against it.
Yeah.
Tornadoes, the lightning that danced along the ground out there seems like it would never stop the arcs.
Yeah. The wind is crazy down there. And, you know, when it's 100 degrees outside, it's like a blowtorch. Yeah, the wind does not help at all down there. Oh, so what was your first experience with church like?
So actually right there in Mansfield is the first one that I can remember. I remember going to VBS in the summers and attending with, I've got a brother that's 2 years older and then my mom. So yeah, I remember starting to attend there.
Were your parents Christians?
Yes. Now my dad, he worked and traveled quite a bit. He went from a third shift job to a traveling technician job. So.
Okay. So he traveled all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what were you like as a teenager?
Rotten.
A lot of us were.
Yes. I do engineering, and that started from when I was a kid, taking things apart. As a teenager, I was installing car stereos and for friends and other people around for side jobs, learning computer stuff and making money and paying for gas.
So you had a side hustle going when you were in school.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. That's awesome. So how did you come into a relationship with Jesus?
So when I was in middle school, I moved back to Georgia when I was 10 years old. And so I had some good friends there. And in middle school, one of my buddies invited me to go to a camp called the Wilds up in the mountains of North Carolina.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Really nice camp. And like you do at camp, you do a lot of fun and you also do a lot of thinking about where you're at. And just felt really convicted to pray for salvation while I was there.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
So how did you struggle after you became a Christian?
My family dynamics at the time, I'm middle kid, so you always got middle kid syndrome. But I've got a brother that's 2 years older, had some health issues. And then I got a brother that's 10 years younger. And so I was kind of isolated. I spent a lot of time with myself, taking things apart, of course. But so after I got saved, I didn't tell my family. And then right after graduation, I went off to the Navy.
Yeah.
And I was gone. So it was a while before I really settled in. I was thinking about where my life needed to be leading, but I wasn't there I did 10 years in the Navy. And then when I came home, got right in the church and
started to take things more seriously.
Things more serious. Had 2 kids, so it was time to time to start living like I should.
Yeah, absolutely. So what made you want to go into the Navy?
The training.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, there were a lot of different engineering fields that you can do and a lot of directions you could take and get paid to do it and get to see a lot of the world while you're in there. So.
Yeah. You got paid to take things apart.
That's right.
Yeah, a little bit more than the side jobs. Yeah.
Yep.
So what are some of the places you were stationed?
So I started out in Great Lakes, which is up in North Chicago.
Okay.
And that winter I got there in January.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That would probably be about to run you out of the military.
Yeah. At that point, I had never been any farther north than Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I went to Chicago there. It was a bad winter by their standards. It was 40 below with 80 below wind chills for a couple of days.
Oh, no.
More snow than I had ever seen in my life accumulated was on the sidewalk at the airport when I got there.
Oh, no.
But yeah, from Chicago, I went to Florida for nuclear power school. So I was down just outside Orlando is where they were doing that.
That's fascinating.
It is.
Nuclear power school.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And then went from there to Groton, Connecticut, back in another winter for submarine school there. And then from Groton out to California. I was at the shipyards on my first submarine there in California for a while, and then to Hawaii for some schooling. Back to California, we finished the work that was being done on the sub and moved down to San Diego. We were up in the North Bay area to begin with when we were doing the work on it. So down to San Diego. I never saw San Diego in the summertime. We would be at sea about 9 months out of the year, and I was usually home the other times, and usually only about a week at a time.
Yeah. So you spent some time on a submarine?
Yep.
Yeah. What was that like?
You're so busy. It's like sitting in this closet here. You got about that much daylight. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So you had to be, as a person on a submarine, you had to be acclimated to being in the dark and confined spaces, I guess, or being okay with that. Yeah.
Yep. You got to spend your time quietly, depending on where you're at. So you can't transmit any noise out. If you were somewhere where you were being a submarine, then you walked around with no shoes, so you didn't transmit any noise that way.
Wow.
Yeah.
For an introvert, I guess that's okay. Wow.
So you got to do a lot of reading, a lot of books, a lot of studying. There's all the qualifications that you do to get your dolphin emblem saying that you're qualified for submarines.
Yeah.
You have to know all the emergency areas of pretty much every system on board.
So you're telling me all the submarine movies are inaccurate because they're awfully loud on those submarines.
Yeah. That's not the Navy I was in.
Hunt for Red October is not accurate then.
I was actually in San Diego when they were filming Hunt for Red October.
Really?
We had just pulled into port, and I was walking back to where our barracks was at, and Sean Connery was standing by the little vending machine in his garb where he had the reddish color to his face, like he looked like he was just coming out of the cold wind, had on that dark black their suit there. He had to be dying in the San Diego sun.
Right. You're shooting a winter scene in the San Diego sun. That's hilarious. What are you currently learning about Jesus?
Right now, I've got some guys and we're doing a disciple class together. So learning a lot that we all have the same struggles.
Mm-hmm.
We're all trying to get deeper into the word. But as far as getting to know Jesus better, we just got back. We went on the Ireland mission trip. Spent a week in Ireland. Beautiful. And the first thing I noticed when you walked into that great big church out there is the same Holy Spirit that we have here greet you there. You know it right away. It's a familiar, familiar spirit. It's, we're one big family. So
yeah, we're more alike than we are different.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Amazing. Tell me about your wife, Kelly. How did you meet her?
My wife, Kelly, she's special. She's a go-getter. She was managing temporary services. She was bringing temps to work in the plant that I worked in down in Atlanta. She had been moved out there by a company called Robert Half that did mainly financial type people. And then she got into manufacturing, which she decided she didn't like that much at all. She was getting called. I would get called in the evenings to go fix problems. She'd get called in the evenings to go give drug screens because temporaries had wrecked a forklift.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Something along those lines. So, yeah, she had come in and pitched her company and had started working with our HR manager. And I was in Canada working on some new equipment with a company up there. So she had been around the plant for about a month before I got back. And when I came back, she was having a meeting with the HR manager, and I walked by his office, stopped, turned around and walked back over and came in and introduced myself. They were both like, hey.
And that was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
So then I had to chase her around for a while after that, but I finally won her over.
Yeah. Awesome. She's a pistol in a good way. In a good way.
Yep.
All right. So let's go to some fun questions and get to know you a little bit better. So what is the first concert you ever attended?
Oh, so Six Flags, there's one in Georgia, close to where we're at. And me and my older brother, we used to get season passes for Christmas a lot of the years. So they used to do Under the Starlight concerts, and I must have been 12, something like that. Went to see Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Yes. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was probably in his prime too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's still going around, but to see them back in the day, that would have been fun. All right. So what is the worst food ever?
Ooh, black licorice.
I am on board with that. Black licorice. I don't know why they even put that in the bag of candy in terms of Easter candy. It's the worst. It's the absolute worst. Easter eggs, those type of things.
And that's pretty much the only thing I don't eat.
Yeah. Who is someone that you miss?
Ooh, someone that I miss. I had a good group of guys that we did about a 10 or 12 guy disciple class at the last church that I was at before we moved down. And we were really, really getting into some things when I took the job down here. So I kind of miss those guys.
Yeah. Yeah. It's when you get tight with a discipleship group, it's hard to leave. What profession would you like to try other than the one you currently have?
Grunge band drummer.
Really? What's your favorite grunge band?
Nirvana.
Really? Okay. Yeah. I'm more of a Soundgarden, Pearl Jam guy.
Yeah, both of those are excellent.
Yeah, for sure.
Even together, they're very good.
Absolutely, yeah. Temple of the Dog.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. What do you do to relax?
Yeah, all I have to do is get horizontal and I fall asleep. But for fun, golf.
Okay. Have you golfed with Bobby yet?
I have not, but we were talking about that the other night. We had him over to the house to talk about the Ireland trip, and we're right over by the golf course, so we were eyeing it and making some plans.
Oh, good. We'll have to find out who wins that round soon. Okay. What is your favorite music album?
What is it? It's Matt Mars. I can't remember which one it is. It's the one, I went blank on it.
That's okay. But Matt Marr.
Matt Marr, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We were doing some of his music tonight. Christ is risen from the dead. All right. So what is your favorite dessert?
Strawberry shortcake and my wife's chocolate peanut butter surprise cookies.
Okay. Okay. We'll have to try that soon. Does your wife make strawberry shortcake?
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Her main thing is different types of cookies, brownies, and she's been experimenting with fudge lately that has come out very well.
Wow.
People following me home for fudge.
Hey, I might be knocking on your door for fudge. That would be awesome.
So she makes a good peanut butter fudge to get your fudge taste, and then she makes a peppermint fudge that'll clear your breath up.
Oh, wow. Kelly, if you're listening, we would like a sample of any fudge that you make here at the Northwoods church staff office. So bring some by next time you're counseling somebody. Brad, thanks for spending some time with me here tonight, and thankful that you're serving as one of our elders in training. And look for him here at Northwoods Church and get to know him a little bit better. Thanks for tuning in to the Northwoods Church Matters podcast. If you'd like to find out more about Northwoods Church, you can visit us at our website, www.northwoodschurch.org. Again, that's www.northwoodschurch.org.